It's that time of year when the world falls in love. Every song you sing seems to say, Merry Christmas, and may all your dreams come true. And this song of mine in 3/4 time wishes you and yours the same thing too. Welcome to our show today. You are watching the Janice Thompson Christmas Show, and I'm the producer host, Janice Thompson. I have been doing shows here since 1999, and I want to welcome all of you to today's show. We have some wonderful guests talking about Christmas-related items, and sandwiched in between, there will be some Christmas music. So please stay tuned and watch us not only on Channel 16, but also on SAC.TV, that's SACC.TV, 24/7. I wanted to welcome Mabel Leon. She's my first guest today, and she lives in my neighborhood in the Stockade, and I invited her here to talk about some important things that she'd like to share with our community. And this show does go all over the world, Mabel, so you have an opportunity to get world view here today. So what would you like to talk about?
Well, I'm here as a granny for peace, and I have 4 very beautiful grandchildren. And what I want for my grandchildren is for them to have a home, for them to have enough food to eat, for them to have education, health care, and for them to be safe from violence. And what I want for my grandchildren is what grandmothers all over the world want for their grandchildren. It's what grandmothers in Paris want, it's what grandmothers in South Africa want, it's what grandmothers in Syria want, Afghanistan, California, Schenectady, New York.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. And I was going to say that the topic of peace is very topical, and you provided me with a prop. Here we have, I don't know if the...
I brought that in today.
Yes, well, I was going to say that peace and goodwill toward all are common messages of the holiday and the Christmas season, and they're everywhere that we go. They're not only in church services and on church bulletins, but they are in electric lights, they are in our greeting cards that we send and we receive, and they're on our lips when we greet people. And I think sometimes we utter the word peace and goodwill toward all on automatic, and we don't stop to think, what does that mean? What is my responsibility for peace and goodwill to all? So I'm really asking that we take this opportunity to contemplate what peace and goodwill to all means, because there is no way to think about peace and goodwill toward all and hold hatred in your heart toward any group. And there is no way, in the spirit of Christmas, that you cannot build this into what you do with giving, to remember those that are refugees, to remember those that are homeless, to remember those that are hungry right here in Schenectady, and do some of your Christmas giving, take peace and goodwill and turn it into action, because that's what we desperately need in our lives.
We need it more now than ever.
We probably always have, but we really need it, and we need to be thinking of how to respond with love in our hearts and peace rather than violence. Because one of the things that we know about violence is that it begets violence. It's like it catches on fire and it spreads. I did want to talk about a campaign that Grannies for Peace has at this season of the year, and I'm going to hold up a couple of poster placards that I've carried twice this week. Once at a peace vigil in front of the Capitol in Albany at a peace vigil with Grannies for Peace and with Peace Action, and at noon today on the corner of Erie Boulevard and State Street, where Schenectady Neighbors for Peace has a vigil every Friday. So what these signs say is that grannies say no to violent videos. Grannies say no to war toys. So this is really a message for grandparents and parents who are searching and finding gifts for children. When you give a war toy, there is only one use of a war toy, and that's to play at war. And what we really need to do is to encourage children's creativity, excitement, music, art, things like that, rather than just stressing violence. Now, the violent videos are one of the biggest businesses in the United States. And
so are movies.
Well, actually, the video business is larger than the music and movie industry put together. So there's tremendous money selling these violent videos. And I have watched some of these violent videos, and they are actually blood-curdling, because more and more they make the people that you're aiming at very human-like. In fact, they bleed and groan and moan. And so what I worry about is desensitizing children to violence so that they begin to think that violence is normal. Violence is not normal. So I'm really asking parents and grandchildren, along with our whole Grannies group, to stop and think before you buy the thing that the kids have asked for, and think of giving them something that will encourage their ability to love, their ability to develop.
Now, this is a national organization, isn't it?
Grannies for Peace started with a 90-year-old woman in New York City, and it's like a loose organization across the United States, yes. And Raging Grannies is another group. They are women that I have good friends that I visited in Wisconsin, and we sang with the Raging Grannies on the steps of Washington's, the Madison, Wisconsin Capitol. And they make up lyrics to tunes that you already know. And so there are many groups. What I often say about being a Granny for Peace is that grannies are powerful because they're motivated by love. And there can be no stronger motivation, a very important thing for all of us to remember. I'd like to end my little segment with a holiday wish. And that is for everyone, that may you have peace and love in your heart. May that cause you to act. May you have peace and love in your home. And may you work for peace and love in your community and in the world. Not an easy task. Peacemaking is work. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
Well, thank you for coming today, and all the good works that you do, because I read about you a lot in our local Gazette.
A troublemaker I am, but a troublemaker for good.
It's all out of love, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That is really true, that you work from the personal, but your personal is often universal. So
Well, that makes
Up
sense.
with peace and love and down with violence.
Well, we can't, we agree with everything that you've said.
Well,
I
thank you.
certainly
Thank
do.
you for inviting me on
Yes,
for an opportunity.
it's a pleasure, and you make a difference. Thank you. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations rise to the triumphs of the skies. With the earthly voice proclaim, Christ was born in Bethlehem. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinner reconcile. Joyful all ye nations rise, join the triumph of the skies. With the earthly voice proclaim, Christ is born of Bethlehem. Hark, the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. The first Noel the angels did say, 'twas to certain poor sinners in fields where they lay, in fields where they lay, keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Well, hello, Anna.
Hi, Janice.
Seville. We're in our red and green today for the holidays. Welcome to our show. We met recently.
We did. We met recently at the church that I attend. When in October we showed the film for The Bible Tells Me So and opened it up to the community.
Yes.
And you were so gracious to attend, and we had a long conversation.
That was such a great event.
It was.
I'm
It
really
was.
glad I went to it, and I had the opportunity to meet you, and I wouldn't have met you otherwise, probably.
We plan to show the film again in January because we had such a wonderful response that evening.
Oh.
And a lot of people have talked about it since then, so have requested maybe we'll get a different group this time
Now,
too.
do you know the date yet?
No, we haven't set a date. First, I'd like to tell the people what church we're talking about.
Yes, of course. That's
okay,
most
I'm
important.
talking about Emmanuel Frieden's Church, which is located at 218 Knott Terrace, next to MVP. Actually, the church has been there since the late 1880s, and but when MVP went up, it's kind of dwarfed us, and some people don't see us. But we've always been a very active church. We were very instrumental in the startup of Sikkim, and that was Emmanuel Baptist, and Frieden's United Church of Christ was very instrumental in starting Bethesda House. So we've made good fits. So we are a church that's filled with activists, but I wanted to talk to you about our Advent season because
We're in Advent season.
we're in Advent season, which is the Christmas season. But before I say anything, I just want to let everyone know that whoever you are always welcome at our church. We are a welcome and affirming community, a church, as well as open and affirming church.
You were so warm
Yes.
when I went there. I was very impressed.
With the warmth, yes.
Yes.
And for the Advent season, we have chosen we always have a theme. The theme is a candle in the night. If you think about a candle always in the darkness, it prevents the darkness from taking over everything. And of course, we have worship service every Sunday morning at 10. Everyone's always welcome. And then on Wednesday evenings, we've already started on the, I think I wrote them down, the 9th and the 16th. We meet for about an hour to reflect on the season that doesn't have anything to do with shopping and all the busyness, but for instance, we might have a discussion on what is it you hope for during this season, and also another discussion might be what brings you joy during troubled times, because we talk a lot about hope and joy and love and peace in this season, but we don't really get down to discussing what does that mean and what do we do. And we've already started the Advent season at church with a gift-giving tree. And the only ornaments on this tree are tags, which represent the wishes of children and residents of the Glendale home, which is handled through the Schenectady Christmas Bureau. So people take tags, and then we come back with our gifts unwrapped, and the Bureau actually delivers them. And then our youth group, every year, they have 2 rummage sales during the year, one in April and one in October. And the one in October, the word has gotten around, it's a big clothing sale where every item, no matter the quality, is 25 cents per item. And they save this money and they adopt a family through the Catholic Charities adoption program. And actually this year they've already gone out and bought gifts for the children in the family, and they will also provide all the provisions for making the dinner. And this youth group does a lot because they also in January will throw a dinner for the Damien Center and their families of Albany.
Well, when we met and you told me these particular things, I especially wanted you to come on today to tell the audience about it.
Right, we do a lot of things, so I wanted the audience to know, because there are a lot of people out there that maybe just aren't interested in the institution of the church, but they want to give back to the community, or they want to be a part of it. And this is a way, we feel at our church we have people that often participate but don't show up on worship on Sunday. And also what we're doing right now is the last Saturday in every month, we have a free community brunch from 10:30 to 11:30, and we have served anywhere from maybe 80 to over 100. And we chose the last Saturday because a lot of people have used up their food stamps and other provisions.
Nice.
So this is, and it's set up like a restaurant, so that you go through and kind of order or get what you want, like a buffet at a restaurant.
Yeah.
So that works very nicely. And just don't want to forget some of the main things that we do.
Well, you do so many.
We do. And we do them throughout the year, not just Advent season. But I also want to say on December the 20th, we will be having a church dinner, turkey dinner. So anybody that would like to come is free to come. But we just
Really?
Yes. But we just ask that you call the church office at 374-4114, just so we know how many turkeys we need
Now,
to
what
fix.
day of the week is
That's a
December?
Sunday. That
That's
will
a
follow
Sunday.
our worship service.
And what
Sunday.
time would that be?
It would be at 12:30 on Sunday, December the 20th.
Okay.
Just let us know if
Well,
you
you'll
would
probably
like to
have a
come.
lot of strangers showing up at
Well,
your door.
that would be great. That would be great.
That would be.
Yeah, because I always believe that that God ushers the people there that are meant to be there that day. That's kind of, I believe things happen the way they're supposed to happen, but we have to provide those opportunities. Now, one thing that we do in the summer, which has really been a big hit in our community, is, and this, I think we've been doing this now for 16 or 17 years, it's called the School of Wonder and Mystery. And this program is designed to develop children's spirituality, their relationship with God. We don't go through all the dogma of the religious various groups. But for instance, we might bring in a lot of newspapers and teach the kids how to make kites. And we'll take them outside and have them fly the kites. And we'll talk about, where's the wind comes and you fly the kites. You feel the wind, you don't see it, but you know it's there. It's that way with God. We feel God's presence and we know God creates, but we don't see him, but it's like the wind. So we try to nurture this through God's creativity and this type of thing. And this past summer, the first day we had 59 children show up to register, which is really phenomenal. And we also give them lunch. And if they're hungry when they come, we give them breakfast too. Because children act differently when they're hungry and when their little stomachs are full.
Certainly.
You know, and so that's a great opportunity that we hope people will remember. And our church participates in the AIDS parade and also the Pride Parade in Albany on both of those days. And anything that we can do to help in the community.
So your church is really special, and is it considered a Christian church?
Oh, absolutely.
It is.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We believe, oh yes, very much. Baptists are very Christian in United Church of Christ. But we believe that we're all children of God.
Mm-hmm.
God created us all, and we're, you know, everyone is welcome. It doesn't matter your gender, your sexuality, or whatever. God loves each of us as, you know, the same. And so we want people to know that. We try to read the Bible with a set of different eyes, to look at it differently and try to discuss it and interpret it in the way of Jesus' teachings.
Well, this is why this event, the Bible tells me so,
Yes.
is so eye-opening.
It is.
And informative.
Right.
And what is the gentleman's name again that
the
has a film?
Co-producer is Keith Lewis, and Keith actually, his family lived in Schenectady. He grew up in our church and was married, had children, and then went to California and left the church because the church wasn't speaking, you know, to who he was.
Yes.
So he and an older lady, grandmother, put together this film, and it has been shown. You will recognize a lot of people. If you have not seen this documentary, please rent it or come to our church. We'll make sure it's well advertised.
Yeah, make sure you do,
Right.
because there was a good turnout the night I went, and
had
I
80.
only went because I had seen it in the paper.
Right. We had 80 people that night, and it was wonderful. And several people brought their children, teenagers, who were having difficulty, and also maybe they had a loved one
Sure.
that needed a church and
Yeah.
needed the family to understand.
I think it was very confirming
It was.
of acceptance.
Right, right. Oh, don't forget our Christmas Eve worship service, too.
Okay.
That will be on Christmas Eve at 8 o'clock at the
Okay.
church.
And 8 till,
It's usually about an hour.
okay, and then there'd be music, of course.
Oh, yes. Hopefully wonderful music.
Probably Trevor will be playing.
Yes, I hope so.
Yes.
Janice mentions Trevor. Trevor's a 11-year-old. He may be 12 now, who has wonderful talent for playing music.
Well, I'll get a chance to meet him that
Yes.
night. I'd like to
Yes.
come to that.
Please do. We'd love to have you. Yes.
Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure talking with
Yes.
you. I think the audience got a lot out of it.
I hope so.
And,
And if they have any questions, they can call the church again.
What is the church number?
374-4114.
Okay.
But I want to thank you for approaching me that evening at our
Yes.
church and inviting me to be on the program.
Well, this is how I get my guests. I get inspired, and I got inspired by you. So
Well,
that's why
good.
I invited you, and I am really grateful that you decided to come today.
Thank you. But a lot of
Thank
people
you.
have said we have not been able to get our story out there about whom we are. So you really have provided a great opportunity
Yes,
for
and
our
it's going to
church.
be on the
Thank you.
internet at sac.tv. It'll go all over the world. So
Thank you.
you're going to get a lot of exposure.
I hope so. Thank you, Janice.
Well, thank you, and have a Merry Christmas.
Right. And everyone else, and peace to everyone.
Yes, peace especially. Thank
Yes.
you. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows a turkey and some mistletoe helps to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's bringing lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeers really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple praise to kids from 1 to 92. Although it's been said many times, many ways, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas to you. Rob, hello.
Hello, Janice.
Welcome today, this
Thank you.
Christmas season. Thank you for agreeing to be on my show today.
You're welcome. I look forward to it.
And we've got some exciting news to share with the audience. So I'll let you make the announcement.
Well, I am the chef de cuisine of a new restaurant opening up on Union Street in Schenectady at 707 Union Street, known as Restaurant Row. It is regional French cuisine. If people are unfamiliar with French cuisine, it isn't frog's legs. It isn't portions this big. It is country fare. It's very hearty fare. I think that when people come in, they'll be very surprised at what they see. We have a fine dining menu. We have a bar menu. It's a limited menu that will change seasonally. All the ingredients and everything will be procured locally and regionally. Regionally meaning Western New York to the Berkshires, to Vermont, to the Hudson Valley, things of that nature. It's food that parallels the provinces of France that are the same in climate and agriculture that we are here in upstate New York. So we have 6 appetizers. We have 6 soups and salads together. We have 8 entrees. They will rotate seasonally, like I said. And then we have a bar menu that will have light fare. So you could really come in and sit at the bar and have a glass of wine or a pint of beer and get some light fare like you would at any pub in Schenectady. Or you could sit in the main dining room and have an extravagant meal anywhere from, 1 course to 4 courses, 5 courses. There's even a cheese course that we're offering. There's a lovely lounge upstairs. It's a restored 18th century house. We're told that it's Italian in nature, but it looks like a house that you would see in the Garden District in New Orleans. And if people are driving by, it's a blue house with red shutters. You can't miss
beautiful.
it. People have been commenting on it.
Beautiful. And you just put the Christmas tree up.
The Christmas tree went up on the terrace, and in warmer weather we'll have tables out there. It's a 2-floor restaurant, which is interesting. So we have downstairs a main dining room, small private dining room, a bar room with a working fireplace, and then above the bar room is a lovely lounge with wide plank floors and a working fireplace, and then a library that is also a la carte and private dining space up there. What's very nice about Chez Nous is that there are so many windows in this in the building. So I think even in the summertime, if you can't get a table outside, it's the kind of place where you wouldn't mind sitting inside. It's going to be drenched with light. It's drenched with light now. It's November.
Well, you can certainly take advantage of the solar
Right.
energy.
Well, certainly the light anyway.
all the
I don't know about the heat, but certainly the light. But it's a very pleasant place. It is reclaimed tabletops, the reclaimed wood from barns in the Mohawk Valley. It's casually elegant. There are no tablecloths. The tabletops are bare. We have beautiful flatware and glassware that we went to New York City to purchase. I mean, it's something unique to the area. And everything is made in-house, including the French bread. The butter is made in-house. The chev is made in-house.
Really? The butter is made
Everything
in-house?
is made in-house.
Oh, that's fabulous.
So we're excited about it, and it's something new for Schenectady. We don't have a French restaurant. But
no,
again,
we don't. And
it is casual fare. It isn't, entrees I think are anywhere from $18 up into the 40s, but that's for a whole lobster. And the bar fare is about $12.
well, I'm going to ask you a personal question, and you don't have to be modest. What makes you uniquely qualified to be the chef de cuisine of Chez Nous?
Well, as you know, Janice, I have a great passion for food.
I do know.
am not necessarily a restaurant chef. I've been private chefing for years. I've private chefed for many celebrities. I private chefed for royalty. It was for somebody who would be royalty if our country still had it, but doesn't. I've cooked in Tuscany for clients.
Really?
I've cooked around the world. I have longtime clients from London. So Andy and Heather Chestnut, the owners of this restaurant,
Yes.
approached me originally to consult with them on building it, and we've been working at it for over a year. And I did a lot of research on what are regional French cuisines, what are the provinces, what do they eat there, what do they eat there seasonally. So it's been a long time in developing these recipes and tasting these recipes and then plating them to make sure that they were everything we wanted.
I think everybody's hungry right now. Am I in agreement?
And there's a lot of passion. I mean, Heather and Andy's passion on this restaurant, you know, it's been a year in the making, and even the chandeliers were sourced. I mean, they're antique chandeliers in this building. And Heather, and I was working for my London clients this summer, and Heather would call me and say, I'm in the Hudson Valley, and I'm sending you a picture of the chandelier. Do you think we should buy it? And, you know.
So there's a lot of collaboration between the three of you.
Oh, absolutely. We're a great team.
Definitely.
And the
Yeah.
paintings, you know, Heather and Andy lived in France for about 4 years. So all the paintings came from France that are in the restaurant. And, you know, there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of passion in the kitchen. My team in the kitchen, Mike Friello is my sous chef de cuisine. And Jason Bunn is our garde and pâtissier. I mean, there's so much passion. Jason just developed a chèvre for us, a goat cheese.
Do you
and
speak French?
I don't, and I'm not even a Francophile.
Wow,
if anything,
you
I'm an
speak that-
Anglophile.
you speak it
but,
so
But we
authentically.
all love food, and we have a great passion for providing something that I think is a long time coming in Schenectady. And
I'm holding on to your menu here.
yeah, and there's, you know, the website is Chez New Schenectady. So there are two S's in there, right? CHEZNOUS, and then Schenectady has another S.
Okay.
ChezNewSchenectady.com. We're taking reservations. We open the 15th of December.
And you have a lot of reservations
Oh,
already,
we do.
don't you?
We have like 60 reservations for opening day. And we're taking reservations for Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve already.
Oh, boy.
We will be open Tuesday through Saturday for dinner. The first seating is 5 p.m. and the last seating is 9 p.m.
Okay.
If people go to our website, they can make a reservation via OpenTable on that website. They can use an app on their phone. They can go to OpenTable.com and make a reservation. So, or they can call our number.
Sure. Yes. But they can go on the website.
Yes. And if you're
which
on
is the
Facebook,
best
we have
thing
a
to do.
Facebook page where we post a lot of pictures daily. Not so much on the website.
Yeah.
But the chefs in the kitchen will post pictures of the food daily. We've got like 400 and some followers on Facebook already. So.
Oh, I'm sure. This is exciting to have a French restaurant in our area.
Well, in general, yeah, it's a very warm place. I think people. What I want to say to people is, don't be afraid that it's a French restaurant, because you probably don't even understand what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's regional French cuisine, and so many people think that it's just escargot and frog's legs
Right.
and portions this large. Like I said before, it isn't. Actually,
Yeah.
it's hearty food.
Well, I have some names here. Did you
yeah,
wanna,
go on,
Did you
sure.
want to mention any? Do you want to read a few?
Well, we've got a traditional lobster thermidor. That's the most expensive
okay.
entree, and that is
Of course, Chateaubriand.
Chateaubriand, yes.
Yeah.
That's our Chateaubriand is our steak frites, right? So instead of doing something else, a good friend of mine said to me, "Are you going to have Chateaubriand?" And I said, "We are now." And that's going to be our steak frites. So we have that. You know, we have some beautiful desserts that are made in house. A maple pot de creme is on the inaugural menu, and of course creme brulee, and we have this beautiful chocolate torte, this souffle torte. It's as light as a feather. It's all chocolate, and it's served on a plate that's an artist's palette, a white artist's palette, and it's got 3 different ganaches on it, like you would paint. So it's dark and white and milk. That whole dish is just all about chocolate. We're making our own glosses. We're making our own ice creams
Oh, really?
in house, and the ice creams are goat's milk. So
Oh.
we're using goat's milk for that.
Oh, I've never had that.
Yeah, it's,
But a lot of people haven't.
So,
that's exciting.
yeah, we're very excited about it, and
Well, Rob and I live in the Stockade,
Mm-hmm.
and I occasionally see him on my walk because I'm a walker. And I saw you probably in the summer, and that's how I knew what you were doing.
You
And I
did,
said,
you mentioned it to
Can
me,
you
yeah."
come on my Christmas show? Would you, you know, if you're opening around the holidays, I have a holiday theme. And you said yes, and then I ran into you again, and then I called you, and here we are.
It's
So
very
I'm
exciting.
so glad you have a chance to announce that.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. So good luck. I'm sure you're going to get started with a bang.
Thank you. I hope so.
Yeah. Okay.
We look forward to seeing you there.
Thank you. I'm planning on it. Oh, Christmas tree, oh, Christmas tree, you stand in verdant beauty. Oh, Christmas tree, you stand in verdant beauty. Your boughs are green in summer's glow. They do not fade in winter's snow. Oh, Christmas tree, you stand in verdant beauty. Well, hello, Shirley, my friend and comrade here at the Schenectady Access Cable
to see you
Council.
today.
Yeah, you look so lovely in your
Thank you.
outfit. I'm glad you could join us today for the Christmas show and to talk about something really dear to your heart.
Well, yes, it's interesting. What I want to talk about is alternative giving. And I fell into alternative giving very strangely myself, and I didn't even know that that's what it was when I started doing it. Several years ago, as you know, I have grown children. And
Yes.
several years ago, I was sort of tearing my hair out. What am I going to give the girls for Christmas this year, and their husbands, and how? And they live far away, and so I don't even have a sense of their decor. Not much of anything. And also, I have found that when you become an adult, when they become adults, mother's taste is mostly in her mouth, and so she doesn't really have an inkling of what they really want. And so I began to think in terms of whatever I find is going to wind up, oh, that's lovely, Mom, and it's going to stick in a drawer somewhere. So it dawned on me that maybe I needed to change my thinking about gift giving. And so that year I took a real chance, and what I did was I went to Heifer Project. I don't know if you know about Heifer Project.
I do not.
Well, Heifer Project is an international organization that provides means for persons in third world countries to be able to sustain themselves by giving them animals, for instance, a cow that they can have milk for their family and also sell the milk and begin to help themselves to sustain and not have to depend on others. And so, and they have animals, and they also have something called an ark that you can buy for an enormous amount of money that's filled with animals. But
Really?
I started out by actually just giving each of the girls and their husband an animal. I started at a very small scale. I didn't give them an ark, in other words. But
Yeah.
and the interesting part about that was, and to me it was kind of like, I don't really know if this is going to work because there's no unwrapping of the present. There's no big deal.
So let me understand. So you bought an animal in their name? Is
Yes.
that
So
how
what
you
happens
did that?
is
Okay.
you go online, and it's heiferproject.com, and you go online and or .org, excuse me. And you go online, and then they will send a card, and you can choose the card that you want sent that says this animal, these bunny rabbits, or this pig, or whatever it is you have purchased, has been purchased in your name and will be sent to whatever country it's going to get sent to.
Sure.
And so it's a wonderful
Wow.
thing. But I kind of thought maybe I'm taking a risk. It's like I'm copping out on not really giving an item.
Yeah.
Well, the interesting part about that was I got calls from each of the girls at different times thanking me for doing that and saying what a great gift, and then saying we're going to do this with our friends now. So all of a sudden I had opened up this whole new way of giving gifts. I have never really bought a gift since then. And
So going back to when did you start
oh,
this for yourself?
oh my goodness, this must be like 15, 20 years ago.
Really?
Yeah, and I've
a
been
long
doing
time.
that. Yeah.
Wow, good
it was,
for you.
It's like well, I think it came out of frustration for me. It's like, I don't know what to do anymore.
Yeah.
And I found this was very refreshing. So actually, that's what alternative giving is. It's the giving of a gift in a different form, and primarily it's a way to help others, and it kind of introduces whoever is getting that gift, introduces them to a new area of giving. And so it can be to a charity. Our church now has I go to First United Methodist in Schenectady.
Yes, a lovely church.
Yes, and we're
With your concerts
yeah,
there.
we are also an open church and a reconciling church and all of those wonderful things that you heard about
Yes,
Frieden.
from Anna.
Actually, we're a door away from Frieden, and so
Yes,
we're
that's
neighbors.
true.
And so we're beginning to collaborate on some things because we are neighbors.
That's
but
nice.
that's a whole nother program.
Sure.
But what I was going to tell you is that we have a community breakfast every Sunday morning, except for the first Sunday of the month. We have a community breakfast, and the line is out the door for this breakfast, and it's a full breakfast. I'm not talking a continental. I'm talking about the whole shebang for a breakfast, and it's served buffet style, and they have the tables are set up, and it's a community, and it forms community because people become friends there and like that. So this is sponsored by the church, and so what I do now is I give a gift in the girls' names to the community breakfast. So it
Well,
can
that's
can be
nice.
very local, or it can be national or international.
So you
that-
do different things
Different
over
things,
the years,
yes.
not the same
Not
thing.
you can, yeah, and
Sure.
and it can be that you kind of like Sikkim.
Yeah.
You could give a gift in someone's name to Sikkim, and Sikkim would send an acknowledgement to the person receiving that gift.
Sure.
And Sikkim now has a camp program, or is working with the Reformed Church for the Camp Follower, and they have a program in one of the parks in the city. But they also would like to be able to send some kids to actually go to Camp Follower, which is a speculator in New York.
Yeah.
So that's another
way
you
to
could
do the
alternative
alternative
giving.
Sure.
And so there's it's
and everyone should know that you are with Sikkim.
I am with Sikkim.
And that Shirley and I met last year on my 2014 Christmas show, and she talked about Sikkim, and through a series of conversations, Shirley agreed to do her own show. So I think in January you'll be back
I'll be
doing
back on,
another show on Sikkim.
Right.
So yes, that's wonderful.
So there are many ways that, and you can be as creative as you want to be.
Sure.
I think with children, and if I had have thought of this when our children were young, I probably would have done that, is to explain to them and have them know that they're to give gifts in that way to their friends and to other people. And even alternative giving can be making gifts for people. Now, I was telling this to somebody, and they said, but if everybody does that, what will happen with the economy? I don't think it's going to put very much of a dent in the economy when you look at all the Black Friday and the
Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday, and now they do have a Giving Tuesday, but I think we should have an alternative Giving Wednesday. And just get this whole thing really rolling.
Well, I think there's no better person to promote that than you. So I think that's something you need to think about.
Right. So I really appreciate your letting me come on and
Of
kind of give
course.
a thought to another way of giving. And I heard it said about that Christmas is a time of thinking in terms of peace and of love and
Yes.
of giving. And for me to go to the mall to be knocked down because I couldn't to get in line to get something,
Right.
as opposed to peacefully selecting a place where I would like to see the little money that I have go that
Yeah.
would help someone else. And I think that's the important thing. It's that whole thing, what is it? If you give a person a fish, they eat for a day. If you teach them how to fish, they will fish forever. They'll
Right.
eat forever. And that's what Heifer Project is about, and many of these other organizations. Another place is 10,000 Villages. They also help third world countries. Everything that they sell comes from third world countries. And I don't know if you've ever been to the actual in the mall Stuyvesant Plaza there is a 10,000 Village store,
Is there?
and if you go there, it's like traveling around the world.
Oh.
They have the most. You really should.
I'll
go
have
there.
to visit
You really
that.
should go there, Jan.
I
It's
will.
exciting. It's like traveling all around the world.
Oh, how
They have
nice.
stuff from every place, countries you haven't even heard of.
Yeah, we should go there together.
That would be fun, and then we
Yeah,
could
then
do
we could
lunch.
do
Oh,
lunch, or
yes.
we could go to
You
Chez
come
Nous.
straight for dinner. But anyhow, yeah, and so I don't know. I really hope that maybe I have, and in persons who are church belong to churches. Mostly all churches have places that you can do giving, and either in their national church or in their local church. So it's something, and yes, you can still give the wrap presents, but it would be nice to have something that you're giving that's helping other people.
Well, even Make-A-Wish or St. Jude's Hospital.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
those are two wonderful organizations.
Yes. And
especially around Christmas time.
if you go on the web and you just throw in Google alternative giving, up will pop a whole list
I
of
bet.
places that you can do alternative giving.
Yeah.
So it's not. I mean, you have a selection of all kinds of places.
Well, it's a great idea, and I think it will pique people's creativity,
Yes, yes.
because people are so used to doing the same thing, and until someone like you comes on and jars their memory and their mind a little bit.
Yeah, and I think that I would feel that many people may become starting to be frustrated as to what do I do for Christmas.
Yeah.
And it's kind of gotten out of control, this whole giving.
It's very commercial.
Needs to be much more simplistic and
I
much more
agree.
full of love and grace.
I
And
agree.
It just doesn't seem to happen.
And your message paralleled nicely with Mabel, who was
yes.
on earlier and talked about peace and
And
nonviolent toys,
right.
and so
This is a time when we need to be thinking about that. And I like what Mabel had said about the fact of really looking at what we're saying when we're saying peace on earth to
right,
all.
not just empty words.
Yeah, and who is all. And so all of that connects. And if there's no better time than now to be thinking of that as we're into Advent. And Advent actually is a time of waiting, of hopeful waiting. And so this is how I see Advent, that you begin to look at things like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my resources? How am I helping others?
And I think it's important to look at things differently and to be open
Yes.
to new ideas.
Yes.
Because life has changed, and change is going to happen anyway.
Change happens. It is
So,
what it is. Yeah.
Yes. Well.
I thank you for having
Oh,
me
you're
here
so welcome.
tonight.
It was a pleasure, my pleasure,
I appreciate
and the
it.
audience's pleasure.
Well,
thank
thank you
you,
so much.
Shirley. You do a lot for our community.
I really appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you again, Jan.
Oh, of course,
All
and
right.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and to all
Okay.
of your listeners.
Thank you. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. I want to take a moment today on my Christmas show And thank everyone again for tuning in. And I want to give particular tribute to our military, our veterans. As many of you may have noticed, we're making progress here with not only locally, but in our country with homelessness of the veterans. And they deserve our very best. They have given their lives in many instances to keep us safe. And we need them, especially now. I want to read you this tribute. It's called Honor Our Military. Let's honor our military, the men and women who serve, whose dedication to our country does not falter, halt, or swerve. Let's respect them for their courage. They're ready to do what's right, to keep America safe so we can sleep better at night. Let's support and defend our soldiers whose hardships are brutal and cruel, whose discipline we can't imagine, who follow each order and rule. Here's to those who choose to be warriors and their helpers, good and true. They're fighting for American values. They're fighting for me and you. Thank you. Hello, Dave.
Hey,
Dave
Janice.
Paffenbeck,
Yep.
Noted videographer in the area.
Well, I don't know about how noted, but I do videography, yes.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
You did it mainly for one particular person that we're here to talk about today.
Oh, that's right. We used to have the Sal Canavo show, and then at Christmas time we do the Sal Canavo Christmas show. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Although I do Dolores Scalise's Cooking at Home with Dee,
Yes.
and I do a March Schenectady for Jesus in the summer. I don't know if
okay.
you've seen that. But,
No.
those are my three major videos.
Projects.
Projects that I work on. Yeah.
Okay.
But Sal, that goes way back till I think. I'll tell you exactly when it was. It was just before 2001, September 11th.
Okay.
I met up with Sal. He was working over at that time Linton High School. The Run for Cancer, breast
Okay.
cancer was on, and he was he donated his time. And my wife said, "Hey, your old friend is up there in the tower." So I said, "Well, let's not bother him. Well, just go up and say hi." So I did, and I had just retired at the time, and we got together and we were doing a few things with nursing homes and senior citizen centers and so on. Then 9/11 came. Sal and I, we were talking about, how sad the whole country was and so on and so forth. And he had talent singing and that kind of thing. And he said, you're not too bad with shooting video. So we got together and we came up with the Sal Canavo show. And that was pretty much the reason why it all started. He would entertain in various places, various venues. And one was the Dutch Apple boat down in Albany,
Oh, the cruise.
the cruise.
Oh.
So we would go down there, and he would have his amplifiers and so on, and microphones, and I'd have my cameras, and we would shoot some of the audience, and everybody was having a good time, and that was part
Yeah.
of the Sal Canavo show. So we went to different locations to do a show too.
Yeah, and we recently, well, you in particular, lost a dear friend in his passing.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we're here to give
Yeah.
tribute to Sal Canavo, you being my final guest on the show today, and we wanted to end this show with a tribute to Sal, who made such an impact on our community, not just as him as a person, but also with his music. Would you agree?
Oh, definitely, definitely. And there's a few things about Sal. Sal, I have in the time. Well, we went to grade school together.
Yeah.
Okay, and then
And where was that?
that was at Draper
Draper.
High School up
Yeah.
in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
And after school, he kind of went his way, I went my way, and every once in a while I'd see him or he'd see me, and we'd talk about old times. And then, as I mentioned to you earlier, we got back together, and all the time that I had worked with Sal, from 2001 right up until a few months ago, I never heard anyone say a negative comment about him. Everybody really enjoyed his presence. It was absolutely amazing, and his wife at his funeral made a statement, Kathy Canavo, and she said that Sal never met a stranger; he only met a friend. And that's true. I mean, he could come in this room right now, and none of you would know him. 5 minutes later, it felt like old home week. It was absolutely amazing. He just had a certain way about him.
That.
He
Yes.
did. And when he first got into the business, show business, he would go around to different hotels down in Colony and Albany, and he had a group. They would sing and guitars and drums and so on. And after that, he had some business ventures that didn't go quite well and so on, and he had some physical ailments that encroached on him. So he ended up getting into the DJ business. And one thing about Sal, he could work a room. I mean, he knew the people. I mean, he would just look at them and size them up, their age, whether there's more women or more men, and younger people, older people, and so on. And he would just keep that crowd dancing and keep their spirit up. It was absolutely amazing, and what a talent he had for that.
There were so many wonderful tributes given to him.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still at the funeral.
They're still going on. I want you to know.
It was quite
Yeah.
an event, and it reminded me too of the modern shoe repair that I had forgotten, and that he and his dad have kind of ran that.
Yeah, he was one of the original soul men.
Behind Carl's, I guess.
Yep, that's right.
Carl Company,
Yep.
and I remember him with his curly hair.
Yep.
That's something.
Yep.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, he had an afro years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah, and that's when he had his group
Uh-huh.
that they were singing. Yep.
And then
And-
they moved over to, what is it, Broadway or J Street?
I think that was J Street.
J
that they
Street,
moved to.
yeah. This street that
Mhm.
this
Yep.
studio is on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
they were there for a long time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, well, I'm glad you're here today. We wanted to show a couple of videos
Mm-hmm.
that features Sal.
Mm-hmm.
And the one, I think the first one that we're going to show is the
Well, that's the one he sang. You belong to me.
You Belong to
Mhm.
Me,
Yep.
which I think was made famous years ago by Joni Mitchell.
Okay.
Don't hold me to it, but I think so,
Mm-hmm.
because my mother was a big fan of Joni Mitchell.
Oh, okay.
So I knew a lot of her songs.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll play that, and we'll be back in a minute.
Good.
See the pyramids along the Nile and watch that sunrise on a tropic isle. But just remember, darling, all the while, honey, you belong to me. See the marketplace in old Algiers and send me photographs and some souvenirs. But just remember, if a dream appears, honey, you belong to me. fly the ocean in a silver plate. See the jungle, it's wet with rain. And just remember till you are home again, honey, you belong to me. I'd be so alone, alone without you. And maybe you'll be lonesome, lonesome too, and blue. Fly the ocean in a silver plate and see the jungle, it's wet with rain. And then remember, just remember till you are home again, that you belong to me.
So we're back. That was wonderful. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, he quite a singer, quite a singer.
Yeah, and I remember doing something with him. I came over. It was
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
we-
basement at
yeah,
his home, and was it for a Christmas show that he was doing? Do you remember?
I don't think it was a Christmas show, but we did have you on the show singing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember you had a purple top on because it
Oh,
was.
did I?
It was very difficult to work with the cameras, you know.
Because of the purple?
Sometimes it would go blue, sometimes it would stay purple.
Oh,
you know, a little
funny.
bit. But yeah, I do.
Well, I
know that-
didn't know any of that.
Yeah, well, no. But then who the people that saw it didn't know the difference anyway, so it all
Yeah,
worked out very
it really
well.
wouldn't have mattered, right?
No.
No. So, yeah, a lot of tributes are going on for him, I'm sure.
Oh, there are. Well, you know, his funeral, that was over in Guilderland Center. A very dear and old friend of his, a pastor that had that church, the Berean Church, they just opened the doors and said, hey, if you want to have it here, you're more than welcome.
That was lovely.
Yep, and the line of people, I know we were in the line for 2.5 hours, you know, and the one nice thing about that whole business was everybody was outside and snaking around the lawn and so on, but it was such a beautiful evening, you know. It wasn't too hot, wasn't too cold.
No, and the
there
weather
was no
stayed
rain. Yeah,
really,
very-
really
yeah.
nice. We really would like to have a white Christmas, at least for Christmas.
Yeah.
And the way it looks now, we might not.
I don't know, you know, that's the thing about...
Lovely warm weather right now, huh?
That's the thing about Schenectady. You know, that you never know. I know.
No, you don't.
Back in 1971, I had lived up on Becker Street at the time, and it was Thanksgiving Eve.
Mm-hmm.
I had a Volkswagen Bug, and it was in the driveway, and everything was clear. There was no rain. The grass was dry. The sidewalks were dry. Woke up the next morning, I looked out the window, and the snow was up to the directional light on the Volkswagen fender. And it from Becker Street to Rotterdam, which normally would take you about 15 minutes, 20 minutes maybe, it took us 2.5 hours to get across.
Wow.
Oh, definitely, yeah, it was.
Well, you never know in the Northeast.
That's
And
right.
We're
Schenectady-
lucky so far this year. The
Schenectady's a
West
place
and the
for,
Midwest are getting hammered
Yeah,
with
surprises.
bad weather. And we're due for a reprieve because we had a really cold winter last year.
True, but you know, Janice, you're from this area
All my life.
all your life.
Uh-huh.
But the winters that the winter that we had last winter was no different than a winter in the 50s. You know, I mean that was a normal
You're
average
right.
winter. So
Yeah, they had
who
gotten
knows,
warmer.
It might be cycling back around again.
Who knows? It is what it is. As Shirley Radine says to me a lot, it is what it is.
That's true.
So we're going to show a special video now. It's the Christmas song that he wrote.
Right. Sal wrote this song years ago. I think it was in the mid '90s when he wrote this. I could be a little bit wrong, but it was in that era. And the name of the song is "I Wish Every Day Could Be Like Christmas."
Yes, and they
And-
play it a lot on
yeah,
Channel 16 at
yeah.
the holidays.
But if you listen to the words of his song, I mean, that was Sal. Okay,
Yeah.
that was Sal. Yeah.
Christmas comes once a year. Happy faces full of Christmas cheer. Ice cold nights and sparkling snow that shines. The laughter of people having such a good time. Why can't these smiles last through the year? And why must this spirit just disappear? That's why I wish every day could be like Christmas. People spreading words of peace. Santa Claus reindeers, trees and Christmas wreaths. They bring joy to the world. Their looks and their song, but coming only once a year. But with a spirit so strong, why can't this last through all the year? And why must this spirit just disappear? That's why I wish every day could be like Christmas. I wish every day could be like Christmas. I wish everyone Christmas cheer. I wish every day could feel like Christmas. And I wish the Christmas spirit throughout the year. People go to church and they worship Jesus' birth. And if you love your neighbor as you love yourself, Christmas will never be placed back on the shelf. And if in spirit people would lend their helping hand, the feeling would never leave the land. That's why I wish every day could be like Christmas.
magnanimous
Mm.
person with
Yeah.
his heart, but also his size, of course.
Yeah.
They kind of went together, didn't they?
Oh, definitely, definitely.
Yeah.
But he was, I mean, strangers. I've seen him walk up to strangers and buy them something to eat and all sorts of things. I mean, he was amazing. He was absolutely amazing. And
Well, he was really doing God's work on earth.
oh, definitely, definitely. You know, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And
not to get too sad here, but one thing I know, and that is, I know where I'm going. Okay, and usually, at the moment when you're getting ready to go, okay, you might see some friends and family there to greet you.
yeah.
Well, I know one guy. You'll see his smiling face. If you know him, he'll be there, and he'll be there to bring you home. Oh yeah, Sal, quite a guy.
That was a
Yeah.
beautiful tribute. Thank you for coming today and
Well, thanks-
honoring Sal Canavo,
Thanks
who's
for
a
having
very
me.
important part of our community, and we miss him,
Mhm.
and he'll always stay in our memory.
Oh, definitely, definitely. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, and Merry Christmas to you. Jan.
Merry Christmas to you,
Okay.
Dave. Hope to see you soon.
Yeah.
I want to thank everyone for tuning in today to my Christmas show, and hope you'll tell your friends about it. Certainly watch us on Channel 16, and go to sac.tv where you can see it all over the world. We're a nonprofit, and we welcome anyone as a guest. And if you'd like to film your own show, you certainly can do that here. Thank you, and have yourself a merry little Christmas. Have yourself a merry little Christmas. Let your heart be light. From now on, our troubles will be out of sight. Have yourself a very merry Christmas. Make the Yuletide gay. From now on, your troubles will be miles away. Here we are as in olden days, happy golden days of yore. Faithful friends who are dear to us, gather near to us once more. Through the years we all will be together, if the fates allow. Hang a shining star above the highest bough, and have yourself a merry little Christmas.